Did you guys know that 1 in 3 people struggle with sleep?
Yeah.
So if you don't struggle with sleep, and then you don't struggle with sleep, that means, hey, you struggle with sleep. So, I'm glad that you're here.
Do you struggle with sleep?
So, with that being said, please, please, please share what you learned tonight with the people in your life, because people struggle with sleep. Now, it is my honor to introduce to you a man who has been dedicated to changing lives for the past 31 years. Now, that might be a little exact, but as of Sunday, Dr. Pete, he has been a chiropractor for 31 years. So, we're celebrating that this month. And he has a passion for chiropractic care ever since he was 12 years old. But he's not just a chiropractor. He's also a lifelong learner. He's a devoted husband, a loving father, and a proud grandfather. He's been married to his wife for 34 years. And together they have raised 7 children. I was just going to say, I'm the favorite middle child. So, do with that information what you said.
That's true.
But he also has 2 grandchildren, and they're very proud of them, and they bring them a lot of joy. So beyond his family, Dr. Pete, he has called North Branch home for the past 23 years. And in those 31 years of practice, one thing has remained clear. His mission is simple: to end unnecessary suffering. And that mission is reflected in the fact that families in his practice are healthier and safer than families that are not in his practice. So, Dr. Pete, he lives by a few guiding principles. His key to success is rooted in faith, a deep love of family, and persistence. As he often says, hard work beats talent when talent rests. And it's this belief that has carried him through countless challenges. Now, I personally, my whole life, have seen how he works and has radically changed lives, and my life too. So if you let him, I know that he's going to change each and every one of your guys' life as well. So please join me in welcoming to our stage Dr. Pete.
That is a very true story. She is our, notice how she worded that very carefully. I have 4 daughters, so she is the favorite middle favorite. How did you word that?
Favorite middle oldest daughter.
There you go. All right. So, to those of you online, thank you for tuning in. Obviously, for those of you that are here, buckle up, because this is something that is one of my, there's certain topics that I'm passionate about, and kind of just to set the record straight, I am not perfect, especially when it comes to sleeping. It's something that I struggle with. It's something that we focus on the 5 essentials around here when it comes to, max nerve supply. Like, yes, check, got that. I've been getting adjusted every 2 weeks for the last 34 years. Max nutrition, it's like, yep, I've been working on that. When it comes to max oxygen and lean muscle mass, yep, got up at 4 a.m. to work out, to fit it in today. Minimizing toxins, yep, working on that too. That's why we have an infrared sauna, and I'm in it often, especially during the winter. During the summer, I can switch to cold plunges, which we'll talk about that. But that's one thing that I haven't really, I even said it today to someone, like, I wish I would have done a sleep workshop earlier. This is only our 2nd year of doing, this is only my 2nd sleep workshop. I'm like, 31 years, and I've only done 2 sleep workshops. But better late than never. Right, Jay? Better late than never. Right? So you can't beat yourself up. So going forward, I'm excited for you. So let's start this off right. We always start off with a Happy Tuesday, and you want to do it so loud that the people next door in Taekwondo like, oh, what was that? All right? So don't spit on your neighbor, but everybody, Happy Tuesday. 1, 2, 3.
Happy Tuesday!
All right, I believe that.
Wow.
Okay, awesome. All right, so how many people have been to at least one workshop? Raise your hand. Look at that, I love that. Awesome. All right, how about 2 workshops? Okay, now I'm going to get a little serious. How about 5 workshops?
Probably, yeah.
Okay, look around, people. 5 workshops. All right, nice. 10. We're going to go double 10.
Probably.
Whoa. Okay. So I always say, are those the people that raise their hand? Are they the slow learners? No, absolutely not. Okay, awesome. I'm really proud of you. Okay. So you do have some handouts, so we'll be going over the handouts. So relax. But one of the things I want to talk about is action steps. When you come across a thought, when I say something and you're like, ooh, yeah, I need more of that. I need more of that in my life. I want you to write it down, right? And then don't just write it down, like, highlight it, come back to it. Look at it tomorrow, like, okay, what did I learn? What are my greatest takeaways? All right, so rise and shine. Tired of waking up exhausted, all right? So, like Rachel said, families are healthier and safer inside our office than families outside of our office. So this is our family, and plus a couple of dogs here. We actually did they wanted to do a repeat when we asked them for, like, what do you want to do for, was that Memorial Day weekend? And they're like, let's go down the St. Croix, let's go kayak camping. And so basically what kayak camping is everything has to fit in your either canoe or kayaks. And I don't know if we might have had one canoe, but yeah, so everything you have to fit has to, and you're responsible for your gear, right? And I know the first time it seemed like it was a disaster because it rained and it just downpoured, but they loved it, right? So they wanted to do it again. So that's from that. All right. So a couple of things you're going to learn: what is sleep? Why do we sleep? What causes sleep problems? And then my favorite: tips and strategies for amazing sleep. All right. So, sleep is a problem, right? 50 to 100 million Americans have sleep disorders. Like Rachel said, 1 out of 3 adults do not get adequate amounts of sleep. And you get sick, right? Nine signs that you need better sleep. You don't have to raise your hands for this one, all right? You're irritable or moody. You're unable to focus or remember. Blood pressure starts to increase. You get frequent coughs and colds. You sleep late on the weekends. Actually, you sleep different, just because it's a Saturday or Sunday. Your blood sugar starts creeping up. You can't shed those pounds. We call it weight loss resistance. You consume caffeine daily, and you can't stop hitting the snooze. Okay? Or you even use the snooze option. That is a problem. Your body requires quality and quantity sleep. Now, if this doesn't get you concerned, a new study suggests chronic sleep deprivation causes overactivity in the brain's self-cleaning mechanism, leading to the destruction of healthy cells. So basically, your brain eats itself. Not a pretty sight. Okay, so you have, basically what happens is when you don't get enough sleep, your brain doesn't get rid of the waste. And your brain ends up sitting in its own waste. Okay? Now there is a difference between males and females. Not much. Right? Really not much when it comes to sleep. Females tend to have a higher percentage of, and we'll talk about what, REM and we'll kind of go through this here. One of the key things that I've seen is males are more likely to suffer from sleep apnea. We'll talk about this. Females have a greater buildup of sleep, actually sleep pressure. So just the desire to go to sleep or to be sleepy. But they also get into a deeper REM sleep quicker than men can. You women, I tell you.
We get all the breaks.
All the breaks. Except for child break.
Yeah, right.
Oh.
Except for that one.
All right. So, one of the questions I get right off the bat is like, hey, how much should I sleep? Well, it depends on what season of life you're in, right? So if you see here, newborns need more sleep, infants, so this number tends to drop somewhat. As we age, somewhat, right? But it depends on what season of life you're in. All right, there is 3 stages of sleep, and this is obviously cyclical. So it starts out with light sleep, where you're relaxed, drowsy, but kind of easy to awake. Then there's the deeper sleep, where your core temperature drops, your heart rate and breathing slow down. And then obviously REM, which is this dream state. It helps your emotional well-being. Oh, I want to go back. I want to go back to this one. I forgot to bring up a very important point. A side benefit of wobbling. One of the things, besides loosening up your spine, and I see you're wobbling back there, Christopher. So wiggling, moving side to side, front to back, twisting. One of the great benefits of wobbling is it actually helps your brain not lay in its own waste. So it actually cycles that fluid, because your spine and your brain and spine are bathed in fluid. So this is a way to kind of keep that radiator kind of moving, keep the liquid moving. So very, very important. But you don't want a buildup of waste in your brain. All right. So circadian rhythms. Oh, one thing I wanted to say about stages of sleep. When we got over here, notice how everything kind of slows down. Your heart rate, your breathing, everything slows down. Every system in your body slows down when you're sleeping, except one system. Come on, you know what people.
The nervous system.
The nervous system. Yeah, the nervous system speeds up. So this is a time where your nervous system heals. So everything kind of slows down except your nervous system. So the way if you want a better functioning nervous system, which who doesn't? Your nervous system controls and coordinates everything. So if you want better sleep, if you want better healing, you need better sleep. Okay? All right. Moving right along to circadian rhythms. All right. So it's really interesting just on how, and we'll be talking about this here, how cortisol actually peaks at 7, 8 o'clock. So for you coffee drinkers, I'm not asking for a raise of hands here.
No, I was just
this isn't confession time. But for those of you that desire or you feel like you need coffee, you want to make sure you have it after 8 o'clock. So we'll talk about that. All right. So you have this change here when the sun rises, and that obviously changes depending on daylight savings and the seasons we're in, right? But typically, as it hopefully gets light out, you have this high alertness for most people at around 10. This is your best coordination, or the best time to kind of get things done is kind of this kind of 10 to 10 to 2, right? Kind of peaks there, and your highest blood pressure, melatonin rises, and but when you're not getting sleep, if you're burning the midnight oil, it just messes, just hormonally, it messes things up. What's interesting is the likelihood of breaking an Olympic record. Guess what time Olympic records are broken? Most likely, like here.
5 o'clock.
Right? Not in prime time, not in the evening if it's an evening event, but studies have done that Olympic records are most likely broken kind of based on this circadian rhythm. I just found that really fascinating, right? Now if you have irregular, if you mess with the circadian rhythm, like we talked about earlier, that's where you can have, difficulty sleeping, obesity, diabetes, depression, have bipolar disorders, just have a lot of problems when you mess with this natural, like when you mess with nature, when you mess with, and we'll talk about that. Like, we're the only species. I mean, think about this. We're the only species that resists the urge to fall asleep. Like, hey, I'm going to stay up later. No other species does that. All right. So with melatonin that's produced naturally in your body, it kind of increases naturally in the evening. Okay, starting at about 8 o'clock. The peak is actually at 4 a.m. and then it drops. So this is, under normal circumstances, this is what happens. All right? Now, just to make sure everybody knows, like, when you're taking a melatonin supplement, it doesn't generate sleep, but it definitely helps to regulate this natural timing of sleep. So it doesn't generate sleep, but it regulates the timing of sleep. All right? A lot of stuff happens in your brain as far as with the hypothalamus. What happens when it's light out? You have serotonin is produced, causing us to feel energized. When it's dark out, right? It's melatonin is produced, causing us to feel sleepy. I know there's been talk for years, and I know the talk is kind of like depending on who's doing the talking, but it's with this whole daylight savings, like when you mess just even with an hour, it messes with people. I've seen it, and just being observant over 3 decades plus now of like, okay, how does this change affect people? And I noticed that as soon as daylight savings happens, it's like, oh, more people are talking to me about being depressed. And it's like, just by 1 hour. So again, messing with the natural cycle. Not a good thing. All right. So we talked about sleep pressure. And the concept that I want you to get about sleep pressure is ultimately what it does is it's crucial for those struggling to fall asleep at night. So this is basically sleep pressure. Adenosine is a chemical that's built up in your brain throughout the day. This increases your desire to want to sleep, right? Caffeine works, and it's very, very powerful, right? Because it battles with this chemical that's in your body, right? And so this is how it kind of, by hijacking and occupying these receptors, caffeine blocks the sleepiness. So that's how caffeine works. All right, let's talk about caffeine. All right, it is the most widely used, and I would say abused stimulant in the world. It peaks 30 minutes after drinking. Here's a common thing: is half-life, length of time it takes for the body to remove 50%, 5 to 7 hours. So when should you stop drinking coffee? Earlier rather than later, especially if you want to get some decent sleep, right? Just because, even though you stop drinking coffee, just to get half of that concentration out, 5 to 7 hours. You're shaking your head, Vicki. No,
I don't drink coffee.
oh, okay. But are you married to someone who does?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right. Since he's not here, he shall be remain nameless. All right. Cortisol, otherwise known as the stress hormone. It has a bad reputation, right? It's produced in the adrenal glands. Dr. Sarah Gottfried, medical doctor, author of the Hormone Reset Diet, oh no, not another diet, calls cortisol control system for hormones. It increases your blood pressure only when it needs to be up. That doesn't sound like that's not a bad thing, right? It raises your blood sugar only when you need it most. Cortisol can be your friend. Being chased by a bear, that's good. That's instant, cortisol, like stress. The problem is modern life, it's that fight or flight where it's that constant pressure that is the bear around, like constantly, that's a bad thing. So it feels like you're constantly in a state of being chased by that bear. And what happens is if you're in a constant state of stress, what happens is you will end up with insomnia, excess belly fat, anxiety, and extreme fatigue. All right, so here is the normal cortisol curve, right? So kind of waking up. So this is why you kind of you also want to hold off on your coffee right away, right? Let that cortisol that stress hormone come down somewhat, right? But cortisol peaks in the early morning, kind of waking up.
That's your body naturally doing that, Dr. Pete?
Yes. Yep. This is a normal, healthy cortisone. So if we were to test your cortisone, which you can do that, typically through saliva, this would be a normal pattern, and they have values depending on what time of day you have it. Yep. So that's normal.
I thought it was when my alarm clock irritated me that it shot my cortisol up.
We'll get to that. So this is an abnormal, so this is extreme, or I should say adrenal fatigue pattern. Okay? So this is where it's kind of if you notice, it's the opposite. So instead of in the evening, when it should be dropping, it's going the opposite, right? So some of you that are having sleep issues, or some of your loved ones, it's man, your hormones are messed up. And it should be going down, but it's going up. And you're wondering why you lay awake for hours, or why you go to sleep and then you wake up 2 hours later. Right? Then for some of you that, you just, you got issues where, for example, you just been drinking coffee your whole life and just pounding the caffeine, and it's just there's this ever steady, it's just, kind of constant, kind of that constantly being chased by a bear. All right, napping. So napping, it's been proven it improves your learning, your alertness, your memory, concentration. You cannot catch up from sleep. Some interesting studies done on those people that nap. It's your chances of heart attack, plummet just by taking a nap.
How frequently? Every day? Are you giving me permission to take a nap every day? That's what I'm saying.
Yes. Yes, I am.
Awesome. I'm going to go to work tomorrow and tell them. Gonna need a note.
There are countries that have fit that into their culture. It's called a siesta in some countries, right? But they will actually close down or slow down, you know, it's like they close shop and, you know, people go home and have a siesta. Here's a great point to remember. You know, my rhythm is not your rhythm. Your rhythm is maybe not your spouse or your significant other's rhythm, right? So there are some differences here. You know, 40% of the population reaches peak wakefulness in the morning, called the morning person or the lark, right? And 30% are more energized in the evening, called the night owl. And usually you larks kind of team up with you night owls, right? Like it just kind of, that seems to be sometimes how it goes, right? Some people fall in between. People more learning, kind of leaning towards the evening. Obviously, our light, our TV habits have kind of changed and kind of messed with this somewhat. So, yeah. So, horse sleep is the oil light. It's the warning. Horse sleep is a symptom. And the symptom is the signal, it's not the problem. And, you know, the problem is the same problem as with any symptom, it's interference. Interference is the problem. So, repeat after me. God does not need my help.
God does not need my help.
He just doesn't need my interference.
He just doesn't need my interference.
And the problem is we would interfere way too much, right? So you can't cover up warning signs. I mean, no supplement, you know, no amount of NyQuil or anything else. I mean, people want this quick fix, and there just isn't one. All right, so let's talk about some essentials of sleep. So, first of all, I got to talk about the nervous system. You have the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. The sympathetic is that fight or flight. That's that, you know, bear, right? Or, you know, there's a problem. There's a stress situation. We need to deal with that. And then you have the parasympathetic, which is the rest and relaxation mode. Okay? So one of the things with poor sleep is that's what happens when your sympathetic nervous system is in overdrive. You're stuck in a high stress state. You have a high heart rate. You have an overactive mind. You know, you're irritable. You're moody, right? So practically sleeps, you know, when it comes to, you know, and one of the reasons why I talk about this as a chiropractor is like, let's work on your parasympathetics, right? Let's not work on your sympathetics, let's work on your parasympathetics. So, 5 tips. So, and this would be a great point to, you know, write some things down, right? Like, all right, 5 tips for healthy sleep. Number 1, temperature. Keep it cool, right? Your brain needs to drop 2 to 3 degrees to initiate sleep.
That's what my fan is for.
What your fan is for, right? Good. Temperature. So keep it cool. You can relax with a bath or a shower. Walking out the door, my wife's like, make sure you tell them about taking a shower. I'm like, yes, got it covered, babes. Got it covered. So she was worried about you, right? So take a warm shower or bath to promote sleepiness, right? Consider a detox bath. You can do that with Epsom salt, which contains high magnesium, and lavender oil, right? So that's a great way to take a bath if you want to do that. Take deeper breaths to just kind of clear your mind and to relax. We'll actually practically do that here later on. Set the mood, right? So give your body clues like, hey, it's time to go to bed, right? So dim the lights 1 hour before bedtime. Turn off distractions. Keep it quiet. Slow down. Read a book. Make this part of your routine of winding down. I can't stress the importance of this enough. Like, give your body, just like in the morning when you do the opposite, you get up, you open your shades, right? And you look at some morning sun. That's a great way to start to, change your hormones or to reset your, that circadian rhythm. If you can, if there's access to it, look at the sun, the early morning sun. You won't go blind. Okay? I've been doing it for a while. Early morning sun. Right? A few minutes. It kind of resets things. All right. Number 4, darken the room. We are a dark, deprived society. Before electricity, how did we get any light?
Candles.
Candles, right? Candles, oil lamps, fire, right? And that emits the same wavelength as the sunset, which, by the way, stimulates melatonin, right? On the other hand, light bulbs, iPads, phones, TV, they delay the release of melatonin by 3 hours and reduce its production by 50%. So guess what happens when you turn on the TV, when you stare at your phone with that posture, right? Don't get me started. You look at your iPad, that's messing with your melatonin, amongst other things. So I tell people, hey, at least the last hour before bed, switch off at least half the lights in your house. Like, just, again, give your body, give your family, give yourself a signal. Like, hey, get ready for bed here. Shut off all the lights. I did this experiment with my family. We actually, 2 hours before bed, we put on these glasses. And I tried it for a while. And then all of a sudden I had to pick up a kid. Some kid was done with sports or whatever. And I took off my glasses, and after doing this consistently for a couple of weeks, it was like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize how bright things were. So yes, you can get some glasses. You get some blue blockers, right? Get some of that light to deflect when you're staring at your screen, especially in the evening. So wear glasses.
In most computers and apps, there's an app called Flux. That
Yes.
changes your wavelength more blue.
Yes. Yeah, and that's, you want to go down a trail here, it's like, talking about how the CIA developed interrogation techniques and how they use red light versus blue light, and yeah, don't get me started on that, but if you want to, you can talk to Christopher afterwards. His wife is like, no, do not talk to Christopher afterwards. He'll tell you all about it and then some.
My phone
But
has
he's got a
that on it.
10-minute time on it tonight. See how I worked that in? See how I worked that in, Andy? All right.
It's good.
Question? Darkened room? Dark? Anybody? Okay.
No, I just said my phone already has that on it. The blue
Okay.
light filter.
Yes. Yeah, they're trying to get you addicted to your phone, so that's why it has red light. So you will be addicted and what it does to your brain. So yeah, there's ways to do that. You said an app called Flux.
FLUX.
FLUX. Right? Yeah, I mean, you know this one if you've ever gone to Vegas or up north to the casinos, like all the lights. It's like, it's like your brain on drugs, right?
They do it on purpose.
They do it on purpose. Yep.
And they fill the room with oxygen.
Again, talk to Christopher about 10 minutes.
I used to work there. That's the only reason why I know.
Oh, hey. Oh, all right. So this is what I'm talking about here. So you can go to light pollution. Light pollution. Just put that in your search engine, light pollution, and you'll see a map of the world. And then you kind of zoom in to where you're at, and so you can kind of see like even in the smaller towns, it's like it's spreading, it's growing, and especially when you look at it from 1990 to 2000 to 2010, how this map has changed, right? And so again, this is the Twin Cities, and this is obviously the different colors. The darker it is, like I always wondered as a kid, or even as a 20-something, 30-something, I'd go back home and I'm like, wow, the stars are amazing. And it was because I was in the, and this is over here off the map, but it was like, well, because we didn't have that light pollution. And it was just, I was just amazed at the stars. I'm like, well, how come I don't see that? Like, right? But it's changing. Like I said, it's obviously, North Branch, Cambridge, Princeton, and, even across the border, right? So it's literally, it's all over. So it's really fascinating when I was looking at this map, right?
It looks like a disease.
Well, it is.
Tie-dye.
That's kind of how we started off, right? Right? And for those of you that have a next door neighbor that's close to you, when they leave all their lights on, it's just like, oh, like, why do you have to have all the lights on? All right. Tip number 5. Limit your caffeine. So, can it fix your sleep issues? Yeah. I mean, by limiting or getting rid of your caffeine? Seriously. You can wean off it. We've talked about this. We have actually somebody in the room that has done some weaning off. Care to share your experience at all?
Who? Me?
Ooh, yeah.
Oh, I'm actually just went to the mushroom coffee.
Yeah.
So I used to do a regular coffee with creamer.
Yes. And mushroom coffee?
It's delicious. No creamer needed. It's smooth, no bitter. It's good.
Yeah.
Right? You do it too.
Yep. So there's other
Yeah.
weird people you can talk to.
Where do you get it?
I got it from the Sprout.
Oh,
Or is that what it's called?
Yes.
Sprouted brains.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
it's good.
just like coffee, there's different types of mushroom coffees. So if you don't like one, go to another one. But like if you said you like the one at Sprouts here locally, yeah, awesome.
I've been wanting to try that.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Maybe we could try
Yeah.
that.
So my rule of thumb: if you want better sleep, if you're struggling with sleep, no coffee. Afternoon. But no coffee before 8 a.m. either, right? So you have that window. You have that 4-hour window for you coffee addicts, for you caffeine
But I
addicts.
start work at 7 a.m.
You can't bring a thermos. You can't.
I have to wake up before I start sorting mail.
Look at the sun.
Yeah.
It's not up.
If you rely, they actually have. There is an option. I don't know if I'll mention it later, so I'll mention it right now. Is there is full spectrum lighting, so you can get a full spectrum light.
I just want my coffee.
Light. Which I have one. I didn't bring it. Happy light. Okay.
I think I have something that's on the order of that that's actually supposed to help you, like, it's got different settings to help you fall asleep at night.
Yeah.
And then, like, the brighter one is for when you wake up to help you be more alert.
Yep.
I think they make alarm clocks.
They make alarm clocks. Yeah, exactly. So again, how long does the effects of caffeine last? We're not talking about the half-life here, but how long does caffeine last?
5 to 7.
Long.
Yeah.
10 to 12 hours. Depending on how much you're taking and how long you're drinking. Right? And it's like,
I don't know, I had
I'm gonna drink a cup. Well, the cup head size has got,
I did
doesn't even fit in a car holder anymore.
I did that one year for Christmas. They had a thing at Menards, and it was this huge coffee cup like this.
Oh no.
And it said I'm only got down to 1 cup a day.
It's a whole pot, huh?
Yeah. It's actually a pot and a half.
Oh my gosh.
It was great.
Limit alcohol. The problem with alcohol is it turns to sugar, and you end up waking, and at 2 to 3 a.m. you get an energy surge and an insulin spike, and people think a nightcap, it's like, basically a nightcap doesn't work. It's a sedative, and it's not, it basically, it's not a promoter of natural sleep. So, alcohol is not the answer. Even my wife has, I bought a ring, an Oura ring, that helps to monitor a lot of different things. And after about a month, I made the mistake of saying, hey, do you want to try this? And I haven't gotten it back yet. So for Christmas, guess what I'm getting? I'm getting a different ring that she stole from me, so I don't know how that works. But what she noticed is, and what's really fascinating is she noticed that even half a glass of wine caused her sleep score to just tank.
Really?
A half a glass. So she used to have a half a glass of wine.
At
Pretty
dinner
much
time?
What's that?
I mean, early even at dinner time?
Mm-hmm.
Really?
It messes with her sleep. So, and she would have not, like, really? Because same thing, like,
Yeah.
I just had a little, again, not a big gulp, like just a little, half a glass of wine, 4 ounces. And it messed with her sleep score. It brought it from oftentimes an A and B down to a C, D.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Workout in the morning. And research states that 150 minutes a week of moderate to vigorous exercise. Now, what I found, if you break that up, is that's 21 minutes a day.
We're
So,
gonna break that rule tonight, by the way, Dr.
I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of a little bit every single day. Your body is a very much, what have you done for me lately? Not all at once, right? You can't drink your water allotment in one day for the entire week. And the same is true with exercise. Putting your phone down. People, what did we do before the advent of the phone? We got better sleep, that's what we did. We got such more better sleep. Did I miss that? Oh,
What are you changing
I
it
can't believe I missed
to?
that.
What are you changing it to? What do you mean? The time. Oh.
All right, get sunshine, especially in that morning, right? We talked about early morning kickstarts the production of melatonin. Evening sunsets help you to kind of get back on track.
Wait, I thought melatonin was the nighttime.
You're right. You're right. It resets kind of your hormonal, your circadian rhythm and kind of getting on track with nature. So, vitamin D is vital for production of serotonin and melatonin, right? If you live in this climate where you don't see the sun, you especially need it in the winter. I'd highly recommend that you get tested. Anybody that's ever gotten tested that doesn't supplement with vitamin D, they're usually single digits. The goal should be 60 to 100. Closer to, with everything that vitamin D does, you actually want to be, at least 80 minimum. One of the things is I haven't been as consistent with my vitamin D, and just got tested, just got the results back, and I was at 60. So it was kind of a wake-up call, like, okay, hey, I'm on that bottom edge of normal.
So where do you have that tested at?
Blood tested. So wherever you need your blood tested, there's a couple of different labs. My favorite is LabCorp in Edina, and we can kind of we can get you like my prices. So yeah, there's a couple of different options. So if you want that, talk to me afterwards. Skipping the late night snacks. Oh, back to this. Getting sunshine. So that means wearing sunglasses is bad.
Really?
It is one of the worst things that you can do is wear
Really?
sunglasses. Really. Yeah. Think about what it does. Like wearing sunglasses, it's blocking, like the sun is not bad. So wearing sunglasses interferes with that hormonal process. All right, skipping late night snacks. All right, avoid sweets, chocolate, bread, juice, high glycemic fruit, which is everything except
Green berries.
berries and green apples.
I'm glad ice cream's not on that list.
Me too.
All right, you're in detention. We're gonna talk to you. So, when should you stop eating before bed?
2 hours.
How many?
2?
2. 2 hours before bed. So you can snack on some melatonin-forming foods like avocados, grass-fed, protein, right? So there's some things that can stimulate that melatonin naturally, and ice cream isn't one of them. The advanced plan. What is it? I'm putting you to the test, Jay. What's the advanced plan? You know this. Deep down, you know this. Because we've talked about it. We've talked about it. Pressure's on.
No sugar.
Right? No sugar, anything that turns to sugar. So, what we're talking about is grass-fed beef, eggs, and what about for fruit? Berries, right? Keep it simple. No processed food. No wheat. Right? Remember, no sugar, anything that turns to sugar. All right. Now we're going to talk about some key, for those of you that struggle with sleep, here are a couple of key things that can really make a difference. And I'm going to turn it over to the ladies.
All right. So, the first one I have is adrenal balance. So that just kind of helps if you're feeling more drained or stressed. It's like the ultimate solution to any fatigue or cortisol chaos. But it's an all-natural supplement, and it's like your secret weapon to boost energy, balance stress, and help you feel like yourself again. So something that I learned recently about adrenal is that it's packed with powerful adaptogens, and it also taps into ancient Chinese medicine to help support your adrenals and keep your cortisol in check. So no more crashing mid-afternoons, no more feeling wired or tired or any of that. So you're like, what's in it for me? I bet you guys asked. So what's in it for you is balanced cortisol levels, energized mornings, calmer, more resilient stress response, and a happier mood that lasts all day long. All you have to do is take 2 capsules, so there's 60 in one container, and it lasts for about a month if you're taking 2 every day. Super easy, super simple. And then, Sarah, I think you have a sleep mood.
I do. So I wanted to talk about one I actually take, and I do take a sleep and mood. After months of interrupted and unrestful sleep, I started to take the sleep and mood formula, and the quality of my sleep and mood greatly improved. I usually take 1 capsule about half hour before I'm planning on falling asleep, and instead of sort of like anticipating falling asleep, I sort of like drift off now instead of sort of like, when am I going to get sleep? When am I going to get sleep? Factors like stress, aging, blue light exposure may deplete melatonin production, leading to difficulty falling and or staying asleep, and continue to an emotional imbalance. And the Sleep Mood formula contains 3 milligrams of melatonin, which is a hormone produced in the body whose primary function controls the sleep-wake cycle. Serotonin has numerous functions besides regulating mood, including regulation of sleep, appetite, impulse control, and alleviating depression. The Sleep Mood formula contains critical nutrients that correctly help your natural sleep cycle and mood regulatory systems function. Get a relaxing night's sleep with the Sleep Mood formula, which is ideal for you if you are looking to have a restful, uninterrupted sleep and balanced mood.
Alright, and the last one that we have in the Rise and Shine bundle today is magnesium glycinate. So I like to say that it's like your secret but not so secret weapon, because magnesium is a fairly common supplement to help you sleep. A lot of people lack magnesium. So it also, besides helping you sleep, it helps to support muscle function, bone health, and heart wellness, but it's a game changer for your sleep. So if you're not taking it, you should take some type of magnesium. It plays a huge role in relaxing your muscles and calming your nervous system down, helping you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, which is huge. It helps to boost the production of melatonin, the hormone that controls your sleep-wake cycle, so that you can enjoy a deeper, more restful sleep night after night. Don't worry about any stomach issues. I've heard some people struggle with magnesium, just ingesting it, because this magnesium glycinate is super gentle on your digestive system, and it gets absorbed really quickly, so you feel the benefits without any of that discomfort that a lot of people do. And yeah, I think you're talking about the word magnesium.
Okay.
I have a quick question on magnesium. When should you take that? Just at night or after dinner, or?
You can take it in the afternoon or at dinner.
Because you don't want to fall asleep, you take it for breakfast and fall
No.
asleep at lunchtime.
Yeah, so, yeah, not in the morning, but that would definitely be an afternoon or evening supplement. I love liquid magnesium. It's basically just more absorbable, and it tastes amazing. It's great for kids, especially for people that don't like tablets or capsules. So this is a great one. And we've done this for our family for years, and it's like, yeah, it tastes amazing. The other thing, for those of you that haven't used CBD, CBD is great for, and why we use this company, Carpe. They're locally sourced. I'm getting a thumbs up. Awesome, yep. So it's locally sourced in Rogers, and you can actually, call them with any questions. You can go out and see the farm. It just everything is, like I said, it's a local company, and it's great for pain, inflammation, anxiety, and sleep. So those are the big four, and so highly recommended. We've seen some amazing results with that. Then, of course, is the infrared sauna. Is there anybody here not done the sauna? Raise a hand. Anybody? Okay.
I know, of all the things that I've done, I've never done the infrared, I know.
All right.
I hesitated to raise my hand.
Yes. All right. So, yeah.
Can I do it tonight? I'm crazy. I'm just kidding.
We need to talk.
I know.
Okay. Infrared sauna. It's amazing. And one of the things, especially when you do it in the evening, it actually helps with sleep. I do very well. Oftentimes I'll wake up before my alarm, oftentimes, except the night that I sauna. It puts me in a deeper sleep. And yeah. So, infrared. Gotta try it if you haven't tried it. And for those of you that have issues with sleeping, you can put that into your routine. is cold plunge. Now I tend to do this more cyclical, so I'll do 6 months of a weekly sauna. So I weekly sauna, and now I'm kind of in my cyclical sauna time for 6 months, and then I'll switch over to cold plunge because that's just what I do. That's just what I do. Grounding is another thing, and especially, and I know that it's hard this time of year, but touching, your skin, typically your feet or your entire body, to the ground. If you can't do that, especially this time for 6 months out of the year, because it's not very comfortable, the next best thing is grounding sheets, where you have a grounding mat that you put on your bed. Very, very powerful, and anybody that's interested in this, we can talk more about this, but we can spend a whole seminar just on sauna. We could do a makeover just on, maybe that's something for the future, but infrared sauna, and
Plunging and grounding.
cold plunging and grounding. Thank you. All right, timing. Keeping a schedule, huge, right? Consistent timing is really helpful for this. Yeah. How about this? Everybody repeat after me. My commitments are stronger.
My commitments are stronger
than my feelings
than my feelings
in this moment.
in this moment.
One more time to let that sink in. My commitments are stronger
My commitments are stronger
than my feelings
than my feelings
at this moment.
at this moment.
Right? So being committed to that, right? No matter how you feel, no matter what's on TV, no matter, right? All right, make your bed. Make your bed. There's a study that those people that make their bed each day are 19% more likely to get better sleep.
Interesting.
Because he's like, really? You're kidding me.
I get it.
Get adjusted regularly, right? Keeping your nervous system, especially those parasympathetics, more balanced. It really makes a difference. I have so many people over the years that are like, Doc, I came in here for my back, I came in here for my neck, but I'm sleeping better. Right? Again, your nervous system controls everything and kind of bringing more balance to that parasympathetic, that rest and digest, versus the fight or flight. How many people have walked out after an adjustment or right after an adjustment, they get up off the table and you're like, oh, God, I didn't know I was that stressed, right? Like, I see everybody's nodding, right? It works. Okay, so with this, we came up, because I have now officially crossed that barrier from 30 to 31, it's like, all right, we're doing a 31 special. So what that means is give the gift of health. So we're doing this for the month of December. Your loved ones, those people that are close to you but far from health, give them the gift of wellness, right? New patient exam is $31. Any necessary x-ray is $31. And an adjustment is $50, right? So your handouts you should have a card there that you were given. So that's that card, this little card right here, that gift of health, right? So give that to somebody, right? I've actually had people take a picture of it, give that to their brother in Denver, and then I've contacted the chiropractor going, hey, would you honor this? And they're like, yeah, I'll do that for you. Yeah, just have that happen. Just have that happen. All right, breathe. Breathe, that's pretty important. Let's try something. It's really simple. I want you to quickly achieve a calm state. Here's one thing that you can do. So you want to try this like right before bed, or if you're stressed, right? So this will instantly help you bring calmness to your body. So I want you to do a double inhale and then a long exhale. So I want you to take a deep breath in, and then a little bit more, and then long exhale. Let's try that again. Big inhale, little 4. And then long exhale. All right? That's a technique that kind of taps into your parasympathetics. Just something simple like that. All right. Choose the right sleep position. So what do we have? Soldier. Anybody think soldier is the right sleep position? We got Christopher. All right. Starfish. Anybody starfish? Or kids maybe?
Sometimes.
When they sleep a lot? Starfish. How about the log? Any logs in here? All right. The uriner. All right. The fetus. The free faller. All right. What do you think? What do you think is the best sleep position? The best sleep position? Drum roll.
On your back.
None of them.
Oh.
The best sleep position is this right here. No, not on my table. No,
Yeah.
no, we sit on my table, especially for an office hour, and especially during adjustment times, because we'll wake you up real fast. But the best sleep position is a roll underneath your neck, a smaller roll underneath your back.
All night,
Okay.
huh?
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Oh, okay.
20 minutes, that's
Okay.
it. And then you can go to different
Oh, okay.
positions, right? But as long as that key is that chin is up towards the headboard of the bed, right? A number of those positions would be fine. But that's going to be the best sleep position. All right, action steps. What do we got? What do we got? What are you going to do? Sleep.
That last thing that you said about the neck rolls for 20 minutes,
Yeah.
I was always under the impression I needed to do that all night, and then I couldn't sleep.
That's
20
what I
minutes.
thought, too.
20 minutes.
20, I can do 20 minutes.
Yeah, I could do
Yeah.
While I'm watching TV.
Nah.
Or listening. With your glasses on.
All right, we have another person in detention. All right, you and Chuck, you need to talk. Ice cream and TV. No, not when it comes to sleep.
Chuck and I are probably always in trouble.
I see this goes back a long way. There's a habitual pattern. And the sauna too. Oh, I almost forgot. Oh, all right. I'm going to give you some more sleep hacks. We're not done yet. Okay. So write this down. 10, 3, 2, 1, 0. Write down 10, 3, 2, 1, 0. This is bonus, people. I'm giving you bonus stuff. Bonus material. 10, 3, 2, 1. 10 is no caffeine 10 hours before bed. Minimum. Just, hey, we'll put you in detention too.
I'm surprised you lasted that long.
3. 3 is for no alcohol or sweets 3 hours before bed. That's where your ice cream would go. 3 hours before bed.
You don't have to worry about the alcohol with that.
Awesome! Woohoo! Alright, 2. 2 is no work or food 2 hours before bed. 1 is no electronics 1 hour before bed. And when I say electronics, that means anything that has electricity for you people. Phone, TV. Oh, to make it clear, 0 is 0 allowed times, so no times allowed to hit the snooze.
I don't hit it. Usually I just sleep right through it.
Alright, another thing you can do.
Oh, yeah.
This is my wife's. I stole it, but I asked her. Alright? So, I'm asking. Okay? Another thing you can do is, this is lavender spray, right? So you can kind of spray that. Alright? Here's our, right, 20 minutes.
20
not all night.
minutes.
Work up to 20 minutes. Big one for the neck, small one for the lower back. Opposite of what a lot of people think. Mouth taping.
What?
What? All right. Everybody tear off a small piece. We're going to try this. This is our demonstration for the night. So what you want to do is you
We
want
get
to
to
take
take
off.
Christopher's mouth shut.
So this is a special kind of tape called, you don't want to use like duct tape, Christopher. Right? So this is mouth tape. This is just, it's paper tape. You can get it on Amazon. It doesn't cost very much at all. Right? And so it's just one piece of tape vertically over your mouth.
So I can't see the end of it.
This will help. Right? And if you need to breathe, you can it'll easily, but it just trains your brain, it trains your body to keep your mouth closed.
So you want your mouth shut during the night?
You do. You want your mouth shut. If you're sleeping
Wow. Oh, I don't know.
like this,
I don't know.
that's a problem.
But I'm a snorer.
Huh.
Yeah. Again, you're in detention, so we'll talk. We'll have a lot of time to talk.
Do you sell this for your husband? Make it like bison
Yeah.
for Dale?
So it's just really simple, right? And you can, you know, until you get some, you can use just Scotch tape, right? But this is something that's kind of like it's promoted. And so I would just encourage you. I would encourage you to look at mouth taping.
I like that one.
It's not working with my beard.
Well, then you might need duct tape. There's lots of it. Wrap it around. I'll have you better make it more next time. All right. So mouth taping forces your body to slow down for the cortisol to even out. Right? So and there's just a lot of research on it. Mouth taping. When I first heard of it, I'm like, no way. And then you start looking into it. So search mouth taping. All right, doing white noise, doing a prayer journal. These are all sleep apps. Doing 3 wins. I love to do 3 wins before I go to bed. CBD is, again, great for pain, inflammation, anxiety, and sleep. Chamomile tea. Your power down hour, getting your body, getting your, to mentally, like, okay, hey, it's time to slow down. Right? Having a sleep sanctuary, right, where we talk about, the eye mask, the lavender or eucalyptus spray, getting an aura ring. There's other rings out there that kind of help with that. Making sure you start the day off right with morning sunlight. Those are all great sleep hacks. All right, so I think we covered all these. I think we got everything covered. All right. Save the date, Thursday, February 6th, the Pure Energy Makeover at 6:30. And we're also doing a holiday groove session. So we're passing around, so sign up for that. Do you have any last minute announcements at all? The ladies will be here, Sarah and Rachel will be here. If you have any checkout items for your, it's 10% for 2 items.
10% for 1 or 2 items. 3 or more items is 15% off, and then the bundle is 20% off.
Okay.
But make sure we have more over off, so that's really good for you, and then we have some extra vegetables. So.
Thank you.
Questions?
I have a question. So I thought it was always good, so I never have drapes on my bedroom windows. My bedroom's upstairs, because I thought it was always good to wake up to the sun.
Yes, however, you want it dark while you sleep, like completely dark, like unable to see your hand in front of you. So all lights. So do not sleep with your phone on. Sleep with your phone on. If you use your phone, like all my kids have alarm clocks.
Yeah.
But if you use this as an alarm clock, just use it as a, like, I always have it. If this enters my bedroom, It's never on. It's always in airplane mode.
Okay.
But so you don't want any light. You don't want any light from
The moon.
yes.
You see the moon
The neighbor,
sometimes.
the moon, like I mean, you want it completely dark.
Okay.
So I really don't have much trouble staying asleep, but I tend to wake up 4 in the morning, 5 in the morning.
Okay.
And I know I'm somewhat of an early morning riser,
Yeah.
but it seems to be moving up more the past year or so. You know, so to get that 8 hours of sleep, I'm looking to go to bed at 8, 9 at night, really.
You don't?
Is that within the realm of normal, or is there something going? I mean,
Sure.
some way I could get another hour of sleep in, toward, get more toward 5, 5:30.
Yep.
Or
So
why am I waking up?
I thought I had it here. I thought
It's in there.
okay. I did miss it. Remember what I said? I missed something. Like, oh, I couldn't find it in my notes. I found them now. More than half of Americans are not getting 8 hours of sleep. 1 in 3 are less than 6. Before Edison, before the invention of the light bulb, the average American slept 11 hours. Immediately after we discovered light, that went from 11 hours. In 1942, a Gallup poll was taken. The average American adult slept 7 hours and 55 minutes, so 8 hours. So that went from 11. So for centuries, getting, who knows, but, it went from 11, right before the invention of the light bulb, down to just under 8, to now it's 6 hours and 32 minutes, or 31 minutes for, the average sleep duration. So, I think light pollution is a real thing. That's why whoever asked that, Denise asked about that you want to have bright darkening. So try some of these tips. You can try some of the supplements. You can, go through some of these things and go, hey, what am I willing to try? And try it for typically 3 months, because sometimes it takes a while. It's not like you're going to try something tonight and go, oh, eureka! This was the answer.
I mean, I typically wake up in a pretty good mood, like I'm ready
Yeah.
to go, but it just seems like it's hard to get 8 hours of sleep without going to bed really early.
Yeah, but typically it can take 1 to 3 months. 3 months is not uncommon to get some of the hormones and your kind of that circadian rhythm kind of back on track. But yeah, I mean, light pollution is a real thing, among other things. That chronic stress that we're under. So I would say try some action steps and see what works for you and what you're willing to Hey, I'm gonna really try this for 3 months. I'm gonna go after it. And what do you have to lose after 3 months?
Yeah, I got a gym membership, so I wake up and I just go to the gym.
Yeah. No, if it's obviously cutting into your sleep, you can take a nap and kind of help with that. Great question.
Do you have a company for grounding mats that you typically go through?
I do.
Yeah.
I can send that link to you.
Do that, please.
Or I can just give it to the gals and she can send that link out to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome question.